y'all. Thank you for tuning in again to the Southern Lady Garden. Hopefully the sound is better in this video. We actually got like a mic and we're a little more official now. Today I am going to be answering a question from one of my clients, and it's a really, really good one. I think y'all will enjoy this a lot. She wrote me and said that her biggest hesitation for getting her first Brazilian at Southern Sugaring was wondering if Black girls actually do this. And the answer, of course, is yes. Black girls and women of every ethnicity do this and should do this. Her particular question is kind of a two-parter. We have like skin type, which is a concern that I'll jump into first. And with skin type and skin color, we have to first kind of address what melanin is. And melanin is a naturally produced substance in the skin that turns it colors. And that the closer your ancestors were to the equator, the darker your skin is probably going to be. Melanin is actually, from an evolutionary standpoint, an adaptation that humans went through when we lost a good bit of our body hair, because hair used to protect us from UVB rays, and now melanin more so, for some people, melanin more so takes that role, and that's why we tan in the sun. Most people's skin does get a little darker. If you're like me, it turns bright red first. Just depends on where you are on the Fitzpatrick scale, which is something that I'll probably address, like what is the Fitzpatrick scale, on a later video. But that being said, now that y'all know what melanin is, I want to explain what hyperpigmentation is. And hyperpigmentation is the overproduction of melanin in response to a trauma. So if you think about a sunburn as a trauma and your skin gets darker because of it, hyperpigmentation does make sense. Our skin is determined to help us heal, and sometimes it does the wrong things. So a lot of times, if you have a tendency to easily produce melanin, your skin will react to a trauma with dark spots, e.g. hyperpigmentation. So I want to go into why sugaring is actually really beneficial for people who are prone to hyperpigmentation and people who do already have a lot of melanin in their skin. First, I want to go into how waxing works. So this is waxing, this is not sugaring. Waxing is actually pretty traumatic to the skin. So when you put on the wax and rip it off, it actually pulls off with the hair the top layer of live skin. There you go, that's trauma. With sugaring only grabs dead skin and it grabs the hair, so you don't have to worry about that trauma. Waxing is also really hot, and when I was in school, I remember they taught me how to test out the temperature. Like most people, if you go and get waxed, the person who's doing your wax should test it on their wrist so that they know it's not too hot. Through doing this, I've discovered, unfortunately, that too many people have gone through being burned by wax because their professional wasn't really acting professionally. So again, that is another instance that waxing does cause trauma. Sugaring, however, is literally body temperature. So we actually hold the sugar in our hand and we apply it. So we can feel exactly how hot it is. We wouldn't be able to hold it if it was too hot. So you never have to worry about burns. So again, you never have to worry about trauma. And I love that about sugar. It's so gentle, it hurts less, it lasts longer, and people with that natural melanin production or tendency to overproduce melanin in their scars, cuts, ingrowns, that sort of thing, they don't have to worry about that with sugaring. The second thing that I want to go into is hair type. So black hair is traditionally coiled in a variance of how tight it's coiled. 4B and 4C hair really benefits from sugaring in major ways. Now, I want to kind of go back into the more like scientific side of why that is and waxing versus sugaring. So with wax, when you apply the wax to your skin, you are actually applying the wax with the direction of hair, and you're ripping that wax off in the opposite direction of hair. Now, when you think about that coiled hair at the top of the skin, when you rip in the opposite direction of hair growth, you're gonna break that hair. It makes you more like prone, more likely to get ingrown hairs from that. Also, wax is different in the way that it attaches to the hair, and it actually just attaches to the surface hair. It's pretty straightforward. You put it on, you rip it off. You get generally a lot of breakage from waxing. Now with sugaring, it's very different because it is actually applied in the opposite direction of growth, and it's removed in the direction of growth. So every single hair comes out by the root. And that's great because when a new hair is produced, it's a brand new baby hair. It hasn't been traumatized by waxing. It's gonna come right through the skin, just like it's supposed to. With sugaring too, we can actually grab hair as short as 1/8 of an inch because of the way that the sugar attaches to the hair. So this is really cool. Sugar doesn't just attach to surface hair. It actually soaks into the skin and scoops under the root, allowing us to easily remove that hair. Like I said, it comes out in the direction of growth. So you end up with much better results, a shorter grow out process if you decide to come and try sugaring, and it hurts less because of the way that the sugar works. So if you think about it, like when you go and get waxed and a coiled hair is broken at the surface of the skin, when that hair starts to grow back, it's still gonna grow back in a spiral. But since that spiral has been distorted by pulling in the opposite direction of growth and also, pulling off that top layer of live skin, potentially breaking at the surface, it's most likely going to cause an ingrown hair. Now, when that happens, if your skin has a lot of melanin, you are very, very likely to get a dark spot, some hyperpigmentation from that ingrown. And when ingrowns become chronic, you get lots of dark spots. So I hope this answers any questions from my girls who have a lot of melanin production naturally in your skin. Sugaring is so much better for you. We will talk about healing those existing dark spots on a later episode. We have some really awesome home care products that we'll be talking about, so stay tuned and be sure to subscribe to our channel, like and share, and if you have any questions yourself, please make sure to leave them in the comments. And we actually have a new tab on our website I'll put a link to in the description that you can go to if you would like to ask your question anonymously. And yeah, we're so excited about this. We're so excited about the response to the Southern Lady Garden, and I hope that this encourages you to check out sugaring even more. We would love to have you in as a client at Southern Sugaring in Savannah, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.